is it going, everybody? You're watching Then About Tech. So if your iPhone is overheating, especially after updating to iOS 17, this is the right video for you, because I'm gonna teach you how to fix the overheating problem on your iPhone. Let's get started. So first things first, please keep in mind that this video is not exclusive to the iPhone 15 series, which has a definite problem with overheating. Apple knows it and they're trying to fix it. But this video is universal, so it's gonna work for all iPhone models running all iOS versions, even if you're not on iOS 17. So I'm gonna help you out. Okay, so the first thing you need to pay attention to is if you have apps that are actually causing this problem. So incompatible apps, problematic apps that are actually creating this overheating issue. And the easiest way to check that is by going to your settings and then scrolling down until you see battery, let it load, then tap on last 10 days, scroll down and take a look here at battery usage by app. And pay attention to apps that are actually draining your battery, using your battery a lot. And I know you may be thinking, okay, Daniel, but what does it have to do with overheating? You're talking about battery usage. But the thing is, overheating is generally caused by when an app or something on your iPhone is actually demanding a lot from your processor, which will drain your battery and of course cause overheating. So then this is the easiest way to check if you have problematic apps and incompatible apps. And this will be even clearer if you have apps that you don't really use that often, for example, just a few minutes a day or maybe an hour a day, and still they're using a ton of your battery. You need to pay attention to those apps. Like for example, Instagram, which as you can see is using more than 50% of my battery in those last 10 days. So there's definitely something wrong here. And then what you need to do if you have something similar to this is pay attention to what apps are causing this on your iPhone. Maybe it's one, maybe it's more than one, and you always make sure to close it after you stop using it. For example, Instagram. Go ahead here and close Instagram when I'm not using it. So then you're gonna make sure that it's not causing this overheating issue in the background, because it's so common that they do this. They keep running in the background, the issue is there, and they're gonna overheat your iPhone even if you're not using it. And as you know, I don't recommend that you go ahead and close out apps in the background, but for this specific case, for one or two specific apps, I do recommend that you do it if you wanna resolve this problem. On top of that, if you have also identified the app that's doing this, make sure and stop using it a little bit, or just use it a little bit less often, because you know that it's causing the issue. And you're gonna do this until the developer of the app fixes the problem. More on that later on in this video. Tip number 2 has to do with the environment, because as I told you, generally overheating issues will have to do with problematic apps. But sometimes the problem is not inside, the problem is outside. If you are in a very hot environment, if you're always outside, outdoors, driving, if your iPhone is constantly in direct sunlight, your iPhone is gonna overheat. Regardless of all the tips that you follow, you're gonna have a problem with heating because of the outside temperature. So make sure and try as much as you can to shield it from the sun, hide it from the sun, keep it in the shadow, try and keep it in a colder environment, in a colder room. This will make a huge difference in the long run, and your iPhone will not overheat as much. Now let's talk about the third main cause of overheating, which is charging. Yeah, you really gotta pay attention to that. And regardless of your charging method, if you use MagSafe for your normal wireless charger, or if you're charging on a cable like I'm using right here, it's also gonna heat up your iPhone a little bit, right? But it's not harmful. The problem is what you're doing while you charge your iPhone, because if you're really using your iPhone while charging it, especially heavy apps, right, games or high demanding apps, or using it on phone calls, your iPhone is definitely gonna overheat, okay? Because you're charging it, it already heats up a little bit, and then you're using and demanding a lot from your battery, processor, the exact same thing, so it's gonna overheat. So my recommendation is try and avoid using it while charging as much as you can. Preferably charge it overnight, because generally the room we sleep is generally slightly colder, right? So then it's gonna avoid those overheating issues. Moving on, we have to talk about this guy that we generally don't pay attention to, and that's the case, the iPhone case that you use. So no matter what case you use, depending on the material, how thick it is, and how closed it is, it may cause overheating. So it's super important that if you're having this type of issue, make sure to remove your iPhone case and use it without the case for 1 day or maybe 2 if you can, and see if the overheating issue stops. Because if it does, it's probably the case, as easy as that, okay? So then you can try and use a different case, a thinner one with a different material. This will probably help you out. And finally, we have to talk about updates. And I'm not just talking about iOS, I'm talking about app updates as well. Because as I mentioned before in this video, a lot of the times the overheating problems you're having is because of problematic apps and incompatible apps, and the developers know that, and they're working to fix this. And the way they deliver those fixes is via software updates. But of course, it's not just apps. Sometimes you have tasks, sometimes you have background activities running in iOS itself that are also causing this. So then Apple needs to fix this, and they're gonna fix it through software updates as well. So make sure to every day open up your settings, go back here to the first screen, right? Tap on General and then Software Update, and then make sure iOS is updated to the latest version, and then you make sure you have the latest from Apple to the operating system itself. But of course, also make sure to open up the App Store every day, tap here at the top right hand corner, and then right there you have upcoming automatic updates. If you don't see anything, make sure to pull all the way down, you see the spinning wheel, and let it load. And you may say, yeah, Daniel, but why do it every day? Because I have automatic app updates turned on. Yeah, we know it doesn't work, okay? So you gotta make sure to manually do this every day, update all, and then you're gonna get the latest from the developers of your apps, and the way I showed you before in your settings, from Apple as well. Make sure to have all of the software available updated, and then you're not gonna have issues anymore, or at least you're gonna try and minimize those issues, okay? So follow those tips, let me know down below in the comments. I hope it helps you out, and that's it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video as usual, guys. Bye bye.